So it's a tool that takes ontology information and enables to enrich existing spreadsheets or an existing spreadsheet form. Again, the informations are constraints in Excel. So it's also something that's not a Visual Basic for application. So all of these things, they can run. So also restaurant, it runs in Excel. So once you have made a form and read it into Excel, it's in Excel, but you can also use LibreOffice and Apple numbers or things like that. So the information is in hidden sheets. So what's a bit unfortunate is that it doesn't play nice with OpenRefine, because OpenRefine will propose you to take all sheets, and OpenRefine typically strips one sheet out of your Excel file and then uses it. So you can choose which sheets you use, but you don't have an Excel sheet which you then can resave. But you make something completely new, and then you can export it into Excel from OpenRefine. The result is that the sheet feels approximately normal, but it has selection lists. But also here, it's a tool which works in RAM. So it works best with small and medium ontologies. My suggestion would be, if you want to do something like using RightField, is that you build your own small ontology with something like Protégé, which is a tool built in Stanford and Manchester for building and maintaining ontologies. So the preparation for this course made quite clear that we need more functionality for big ontologies, and we also need more functionality for more complex settings. But I want to give you an idea of what it does. And I think I'm not aware of other tools doing this in this way. So what's really nice is that you keep the ontology information and the Excel together. So there's not something that you load the Excel into a web tool and there it stays and then you enrich it, but it's really they are both together and can be used both together. So in the beginning of this year, I made an example for some course. I tried to pull this on the GBIF example, but it wasn't just not practical, because for the big files, basically you wait for everything for a couple of minutes. So I stayed with my example, which is a German one. So if you want to do something like that, if you intend to use RightField, one way is to call me. What I would go for would be extract a smaller ontology from the large ontology which you might use. Most of the time you're not interested in 50,000 species, but maybe, I think if you are in the hundreds, probably you're really better off. So in ontologies, there's a way to say this term of my ontology has exactly the same meaning as that term from that other ontology. So I would make a small ontology which fits my purpose, and then and refers to another bigger and professionally maintained ontology. This I cannot do right now. So what I did at the time is that I created a small ontology for the beekeepers case we had. So when you open RightField is written in Java, and it asks you if you want to start with an empty spreadsheet or you want to load one, and which Excel format you want to have. To 2003 starts to be a bit rare. But for me, it was the new Excel, right? Um, okay, so you get something like this. So you have a table, like maybe in an Excel sheet, and you have a view port for looking at ontologies. Now we open an ontology. I had a prepared ontology. It's also part of the package, I think, that I uploaded to Zenodo. So the data we looked at were data by beekeepers. So I learned that beekeepers weigh their people on a daily basis, and there have been efforts to collect these data in order to learn more about how bee sanity evolved in the years. And there are things like, I mean, of course, the way is different if the bees are flying, because some of them might be elsewhere, and things like that. So they have all kinds of things. They did they fly that day? Who is the guy or the woman making the report? Um, uh, what has been measured in the day? What people was it? Um, how was the weather? So um, just imagine I want to have the day in this sheet, then I can mark this in RightField. And I can say I want to have the property day in the month. And so this property will be assigned to this field saying that if there's a number in there, it will have the property day of the month. And it will look like that. And I can have a headline which is not annotated. I can also in ontologies look for direct instances of concepts. So for example, a flight day, that is a yes/no question. Was the day a flight day or not? So I go to direct instances and say flight day yes, flight day no, and I apply this. And later we will see RightField will generate a selection list for us. Same thing I can do for other types of values. So if I have different values in my ontology which are out of a selection out of different values, I can say I want to have instances from a given class. So these O are octant, and they are eighth of cloudy sky. So O0 means no clouds. O8 means completely cloudy, completely covered. So if I have a file like that, I can store it. And the nice thing is when I go on these yellowish fields, I will get selection lists. So if you look closely, you see that the sorting can be bad. So I would like to sort by the numbers, but it's sorted by the first letter. But the nice thing is you have an Excel where you cannot make mistakes. So it assures that you will fill things the right way. And as I said, it will, oh yes, and you can read data back. And you can look at things in LibreOffice. They look exactly the same. You can export a document that associates an RDF document. RDF, anyone? RDF is the resource description framework of the World Wide Web. So everything you can express is expressed as a so-called triple, consisting of subject, predicate, and object, and all three are URL. And so in these URLs, you can basically put either a pointer to a description, and more clearly you can give everything its unique identifier without getting too inventive on the words. So we had a simple self-made ontology applied to Excel sheets via RightField. I annotated fields to be filled so that it was clear what type of value is in there. And I created selection lists for fields with limited numbers of values, of possible values. And yeah, and that's it, what I could show you.